Are you playing dead? It's an interesting question. Playing dead is one of the most important survival strategies we have. How we play dead in life is this. Fear will make us freeze, right? If you're out in the wild and you're attacked by a bear, what are you supposed to do? Play dead. If you're in a place where there's a mass shooting, what will you do? Play dead. It has been the most important survival strategy when we feel that there is no way to escape. And it's been smart. But throughout evolution, we figured out that, we can use this in many other ways too. So whenever we feel overwhelmed, whenever we feel that we can't escape, and when we interpret the situation as dangerous in some way, harmful, we play dead. And we've developed a sophisticated system of playing dead in ways that other people will not necessarily even be able to detect. Because you're supposed to be dead. So, whenever you disconnect, you play dead. Whenever you feel numb, you're playing dead. Introverts are often in a continuous state of playing dead, right? Because whenever they are interacting with other people, they interpret that as a dangerous situation and it causes stress. And what do? You play dead. You go numb. You withdraw. You try to become invisible. It's a very old survival strategy, and it means that in that moment, you define yourself as powerless. Because the moment you have defined yourself as powerless, this is the only survival strategy you've got. And you would be surprised to how many times during a day your brain interprets you as being powerless. Most people play dead several times per day, sometimes for whole days. And in looking at this pattern, it's really interesting. And I hope you will get shocked. Because most humans are not even aware of this. But it is the most important survival strategy we've got. So, how often do you feel powerless? How many spaces or actions or settings have you defined yourself as being powerless? Oh, I can't do that. That's dangerous. I shouldn't be doing that. Over time, you accumulate a whole game of playing dead, where you only feel safe when you are in a state of disconnect. What happens then is that whenever you have an experience that feels overwhelming, shock, that's playing dead. That's really going into that deadness. We freeze and it gets stuck, which means whenever you approach that or a similar situation, you've already defined yourself as powerless. So you enter a situation already playing dead. We all do this. It's just a matter of discovering how much we are doing it. And I hope now, as we're talking about this, that you try to examine this pattern in you. It's genetic, it's in your brain, and it's all over the place. So, you're on a scale of deadness, because you have that complete shock where you almost go into a coma, to milder versions of playing dead. That can just be that you're a little bit withdrawn. It's the same strategy, but you don't see it as, threatening, as a life and death situation. But you still identify with being powerless. And your whole identity, for the most part, are built on your experiences of being powerless. Just try to feel the energy of your identity and how you see yourself. It's so much easier to identify with being powerless than powerful. So, we go through life, we encounter different difficult situations. And far too often we identify as powerless because we give other people the authority. We think that we're not good enough, that we can't cope this or that, And in each situation, you will go into that strategy. And it works because you don't die. So it reinforces the pattern, even when there is no danger. Like being, for instance, with other people. But you didn't die, so obviously it worked. This is, in a way, a very sophisticated pattern in humans at this point, but also extremely harmful. What happens in your brain map, right? If you go to a dodgy part of town and you get attacked, you will most likely stay away from that part of town, right? Because that's where you get mugged. So your brain map will then tell you not to go there. And your brain map, your active brain map, consists of the areas that you have defined as okay. All the areas where you are not powerless. It's not just places, it's situations. It's types of people. It's actions. It can be whatever. But whenever you have defined that this is difficult for me, you will withdraw. And your brain map will tell you that you should not go there. It's not safe. So you just pretend it's not there. It becomes a blind spot in a way, but it's a chosen blind spot. Because we all want to survive. Why should we challenge that by doing something that could be dangerous? And your map will get smaller and smaller. In fact, most of the landscape that is available to you, you have defined as no-go zones. And you're not even aware of it. You just think, well, I just like doing that. And I'm just in my habits. This is just my life. When you try to look at your life from above, and you look at your patterns of movement, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, when it comes to interactions, you will see, for the most part, that it's very tiny. You have the whole planet. This whole planet belongs to you too. But we limit ourselves because we far too often decide to play dead.